Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Horowitz, co-host of the free online Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, June 4th to the 10th, 2024. During the summit, you will hear between 40 to 50 experts share their top advice on how you can get better from Lyme and associated diseases. You will learn about the safety and efficacy of dapsone combination therapy and its power to get patients better from chronic Lyme disease. You'll also hear about the necessity of addressing all the abnormalities on the 16-point MSIDS map. I would now like to share with you a story and have you meet the youngest pediatric patient I ever gave dapsone to, who is now well and in full remission for over 1 year. Olivia got sick at 7 years old and for 18 months went looking for answers with 51 doctors. As you will hear from her, she had MRIs, CAT scans, liver biopsies, and even adenoid removal without any help. She was finally diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome because they felt that since they couldn't find a cause for her symptoms, she must be making it up. I would like to now share with you her success story using double-dose dapsone combination therapy and high-dose dapsone combination therapy for Lyme disease, Babesia, and Bartonella, and highlight how important it is to diagnose and treat MSIDS variables that keep people ill. In Olivia's case, I had to diagnose her with POTS, immune deficiency, mold, and alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Once all of these factors had been properly diagnosed and treated, she got better and is finally in full remission for over 1 year. She no longer suffers from chronic fatigue, pain, or brain fog, and is now attending college. Here is Olivia's story.
My name is Olivia Goodrow, and I was bitten by a tick at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri when I was 7 years old. I didn't see the tick and I didn't have a bullseye rash, and I spent the next 18 months seeing 51 doctors, all from Colorado. And I had MRIs, CAT scans, EKGs, a liver biopsy. I had my adenoids removed, and I was misdiagnosed a ton of times. They thought that I needed to drink water because I am originally from Colorado and it's a high altitude state. And then they thought that, maybe I had Wilson's disease. And then when the test came back saying that I didn't have it, they started to think that I was maybe making it up for attention. So I was misdiagnosed with Munchausen syndrome. Then, after the 51st doctor, I was finally randomly diagnosed with Lyme disease. And I hopped around from a couple other doctors who, they were making sure that I was staying out of the hospital, but they weren't having any progress on my health. And then I met Dr. Richard Horowitz when I was in the 6th grade, and we had our very first appointment, and I think it lasted somewhere around 6 hours. And he went through all of my individual records, and the entire time he was like, oh my gosh, they could have seen this symptom, and they could have known, and they could have done this test. And of course, when he got to the Munchausen syndrome part, he literally banged his head on the wall because he was like, you know what, like this happens to so many people, and this is just so unfair. And he was able to diagnose me with not just Lyme disease, but Bartonella, Babesia, POTS syndrome, relapsing fever, and an anti-1 trypsin deficiency in my liver. And so then after that, I went on a protocol of 86 pills a day for a couple of years. And it was, to be honest, so much, and it was terrible. And it was getting me to, feel better, and I was still having progress, but just the amount of pill taking. And I was still in school, and I, wanted to be in school. That was kind of my motivator to, get out of bed every day, was seeing my friends and, doing what the normal kids did. And then in the summer, going into my freshman year of high school, Dr. Horowitz had this idea to put me on double dose dapsone. So yeah, I did that freshman year going into high school, and I felt great. And so throughout high school, I was, I believe I said that I was roughly around 70% better. I was slowly getting there, and then it got up to like 86%. I was slowly getting there. And then my senior year, we realized that, we need to do the actual proper protocol. And so I did the 9 weeks of the quadruple dose dapsone, with I believe the last week being the all the quadruple dose. I was ramping myself up till the last week. And to be honest, again, someone else mentioned that it's not a walk in the park, and it truly isn't. I feel like, though, if all 42 of those pills had been combined into one singular pill, I would have done a lot better. I think that the issue was your gut can't handle really that many pills. It takes a lot for you to actually take those every single day. And so that was my biggest difficulty, was, looking at the box and being like, oh, I have to do this again. And it got rid of all of my symptoms. I used to have, brain fog, tremors in my right hand. I had muscle aches, pains. I lost my vision for periods at a time. It was hard for me to get out of bed. My neck muscles gave out, and these pills that I took, this protocol, it truly saved my life. And, throughout this time and throughout my journey with Lyme disease, and especially Dr. Horowitz has seen it all. I have, created my own nonprofit because, what I went through, it was terrible. But I know that people out there, they're going through so much worse and they do not have a Dr. Horowitz to help them. And truthfully, he has saved my life. I'm now at UCLA right now. I'm living my best life. I have feel the most normal that I've ever felt in my entire life since I was 7 years old. And, I can confidently say that I'm in remission. And I know that we just had this conversation a couple days ago, but now we're worrying about, you know, illnesses that college kids get and, trying not to, get super sick. And we're not worrying about Lyme disease and, tick-borne illnesses anymore. And it's such a relieving and such a refreshing change to have. Um, and so this treatment has been absolutely incredible for me, and I would recommend it to anyone um, who is, eligible for it. It is truly amazing. It has, turned my life around for the better. And I wrote a book talking about, my nonprofit, my journey, and, my journey to, becoming better while also, dealing with school. And I actually have a newer version of the book coming out in May of this year, and here, I have it right next to me. It looks like this. And it talks more about, Dapsone and how that was, especially, being in high school, trying to be active with friends, family, schoolwork. And, I was getting into colleges at that point. So I had, a little bit on my plate to deal with. And on top of that, every morning and every night, I was taking all of these pills. So if you ever need like a second opinion and you're like, man, I really want to try this treatment, but I want to hear from a patient, I would go recommend maybe just checking out the little chapter that I have about Dapsone. But Dr. Horowitz, you have truly saved my life, and I thank you so much for that every single day.
You have just heard one more success story of double-dose Dapsone combination therapy and high-dose Dapsone combination therapy and the importance of treating MSIDS variables to help regain your health. During the Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, June 4th to the 10th, 2024, 18 people will be sharing their stories of healing and success with Dapsone combination therapy. And you could read more about how people got better from chronic Lyme and associated diseases in our latest publication in Microorganisms, April 2024. All the recent improvements in the Dapsone protocol to make it safer, more tolerable, and even more efficacious in treating Lyme and Bartonella can be found in this last publication in Microorganisms, September 2023. And you can share this with your healthcare provider, since the entire protocol of how I get patients better can be found in this publication. You can also learn more about these protocols and the power of the MSIDS model in my New York Times bestseller, Why Can't I Get Better? And national bestseller, How Can I Get Better? So please join me for the Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, airing June 4th, 10th, 2024. So you too can learn more about the power of Dapsone combination therapy in treating chronic Lyme disease and see firsthand how important it is to treat MSIDS factors. You will learn this and much more during the summit, so you are empowered with the tools that can help you to get your life back, and you too can get better. I look forward to seeing you there.